Hey guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be talking about multiplying and dividing fractions. And let's start. Let's start with multiplying fractions. When we have, let's say, 3 over 4 multiplied by 2 over 3, in school we typically just multiply across. And we get 6 over 12, which simplifies to 1/2, right? But now, when we think about this intuitively, logically, why do we simply multiply across, right? And the answer is actually quite simple if we think about what this sign actually means. Multiplication is simply adding the same number a certain amount of times. So we say 4 times 3. We can think about this two different ways. Either 4 being added to itself 3 times, which equals 12. Or 3 being added to itself 4 times. Right? Alright, so if we go back to the fraction problem, 3 divided by 4 multiplied by 2 or 3. Okay, now we either want to take this number this many times, right? And so let's write this number out. Let's try it in a pie graph. So we're gonna have this one here, and this one here. Okay? But we want it this amount of times. So the way that I prefer to think about it, let me actually make this bigger. Because it's going to get a little tricky. Okay. So we have this one here, and this one here. And this is this. And now, we want to multiply it by this amount of times. So the way that I think about it is, we're going to split this one up into 3 sections. This 1/4, because this piece right here is just 1/4. And we're going to split it up into 3 sections, right? So now, we're actually doing that for the whole circle, right? For each 1/4 piece, but for simplicity, I'm just going to split this one up, okay? At first, we had the whole 1/4, the whole thing, if we were to shade it, right? But I'm not going to shade for simplicity. But we only want 2/3 of it. So we're only going to shade this portion. And we're going to forget about that piece. And if we do that for the other pieces, we shade this portion, forget about that piece. Shade this portion, forget about that piece. If we count our pieces, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, which is what we originally got. Okay. Now, the division of fractions. Now, when we learned this in school, we always learned copy dot flip, which is simply copy, dot it, and flip it, and then simply multiply across like we just learned. But why? Why can't we simply take this, dot it, and flip this? You know, it's a really nice trick. But why can't we do this? The answer is quite simple. I'm sorry if I'm not being consistent with the problem that I'm writing down. I remember what I wrote down. But it's the same thing, right? Alright. So when we divide something, this can be thought about in different ways. Two out of three pieces of a pie, or it can be thought of as 2 to 3, which is a ratio. Correct? Now, when we simplify fractions, we want to have typically one of the ratios being 1 to 3. So we have to adjust this number so that we end up with a 1 here. Alright? Now, using that logic and coming back to this fraction here, we multiply. To get this to be a 1, we multiply by 2 over 3 over 2 over 3. So that now when we multiply across, we get 6 over 6 over 6 over 12, which will simplify to 1/2 over 1, which then it will just be the 1/2. I would like to take this moment to remind you that when we do mathematics, always question why you're doing things and always understand the actual concept, the simple, in this case, this one here, and this here. The actual signs. What do these signs mean? And what are we doing? That's something to think about. Practice this. Learn this. Because this is simple, but it will carry you very far. Alright? Take care, guys.